All right, what's up? Welcome back, good people. We got a situation. This channel might be more federal than no jumper because we was just talking about Umar and the scamming situation, and Umar just put this video out. This looks really, really bad. I'm gonna let Umar talk. Here we go.
Peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism. This is your big brother, Dr. Umar Ifa Tunde Oguntade, Intercontinental Ifa Tunde RB Jesus, coming to you live and direct from Philadelphia. I have a very important message. I'm only going
Umar looks stressed out right here, bro.
to keep you about 5 minutes. I have a very important message. I'm only going to keep you about 5 minutes. Peace and Pan-Africanism to my continental Africans. Peace and Pan-Africanism to my Australian Africans. Peace and Pan-Africanism to my Caribbean Africans. Peace and Pan-Africanism to my Africans in Europe and Asia. Peace and Pan-Africanism to my Brazil and my South American Africans. Peace and Pan-Africanism to Panama and Costa Rica, my Central American Africans. Peace and Pan-Africanism to my Canadian Africans. Peace and Pan-Africanism to my New York, my Carolina, my Texas, my Phoenix, my Philly, my Jersey, my Maryland, my Baltimore, my Georgia, my Florida, my Arkansas, Alabama, Detroit, Chicago, St. Louis, Kansas City Africans. It's your big brother King Kong. I need y'all to listen up. I got a very important announcement. I'm only going to keep you a few minutes. This morning, I received a text message from one of my homies. He needed Dr. Umar to send him a couple dollars. This morning, I received a text message from one of my homies. He needed Dr. Umar to send him a couple dollars. I logged into my account just to check my balance because I haven't done so since I left for South Africa back on July 10th, only to discover that I could not log into my account. So then I called the bank to find out what was going on. And the bank told me to enter my 16-digit card number. I did that. They told me they had no record of my account. The bank that I've been with since I was a teenager told me they had no record of my account. So then I called the bank. And the bank told me that my personal account, as well as the independent Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy account, have both been frozen. Both bank accounts have been frozen.
Both bank accounts has been frozen, like the feds is investigating. That's what happened when the feds investigate. But Omar gonna flip it because remember, he set this up a few weeks ago, probably a month ago. He said that lady who exposed him may have gotten his account information for the school and for his personal account. So he had already set this up. Umar already know what's going on. He know the feds is after him.
Both bank accounts have been frozen. And I was told that there is an investigation into my personal account as well as the school account. I asked them, was this due to suspicion of any fraud on my part? I was told that it was not due to suspicion of any fraud on my part, but I was told that it was due to suspicion of fraudulent activity. I was told that someone has been trying to gain access to my personal account and the FDMG account. I was told that someone has been trying to gain access to my personal account and the FDMG account.
I don't think they will give you that much information. It's just the account frozen. They ain't gonna. I don't think they would tell you that.
I was told that someone has been trying to gain access into my personal account and the FDMG account. Brothers and sisters, if you have sent a donation to FDMG, let's give it until the end of the month to see if this gets cleared up. They have given me no definitive timeline as to when their investigation will conclude. They have given me no definitive timeline as to when their investigation will conclude.
And I'm gonna be honest, it looked like Umar out the country. I could be wrong. This might be Philadelphia behind him, but I can't see Umar coming back to the country.
If you have sent a check or money order donation to FDMG, Let's wait until August the 1st, Black August, and see if this situation has gotten cleared up. They told me they sent me a letter to this point on July the 10th, the day that I left for South Africa. I was told that the timeline of suspicious activity was June 25th to July the 10th. I was told that the timeline for suspicious activity was between June 25th, that's when Medea went public. That's when Medea went public. Everybody knows who Medea is. July 25th, that's when.
If you don't know who Medea, he gives everybody nicknames, right? Like his baby mama is Mama Smurf. So he didn't gave this lady a nickname. That's the lady who exposed him on that show not too long ago.
When Medea went public, July the 10th, that's when I left for South Africa. July the 10th, that's when I left for South Africa. So y'all know my I believe Medea and Pastor Bussy were fraudulently trying to get into my account. And if we find out that's the case, they will be sued and possibly arrested because fraudulent activity on a bank account is a federal offense. Fraudulent activity on a bank account is federal offense. Fraudulent activity on a bank account is a federal offense. Again, June 25th to July 10th is the period of suspicious activity. That is from the time Medea went public and I left for South Africa. Between the time Medea went public and I went for South Africa. So brothers and sisters, if you want to make a donation to FDMG, you must send it to PayPal. Hold off on the checks and money orders until the situation is resolved.
Because what he ain't telling y'all is Cash App got rid of him. Cash App deactivated the FDMG account. This is probably 2 months, maybe even longer than that. But you can't send no money to Umar on Cash App, so that's when the money really starts slowing down. Because that was his slogan right there: was hit the Cash App, hit the Cash App. And so Cash App getting rid of him, and now his bank account's being frozen. This ain't got nothing to do with Medea, man. This is you buying the bandos and taking people money. This is about you, Umar. Umar got kicked out of the that Marcus Garvey organization, the UNIA. He got kicked out of that for fraud. So he got a history of this, man.
Hold off on all FDMG Academy money order and check donations until the situation is resolved. If you want to make a donation to FDMG, send it through PayPal. Right? PayPal.me/FDMG Academy. PayPal.me/FDMG Academy. PayPal.me/FDMG Academy. If you want to make a donation to the school, hold off on checks and money orders until we find out what the hell is going on. The bank is investigating the fraudulent attempts on our account. If I find out Medea and Pastor Bussy had anything to do with this, I was told that they can be arrested for federal offense. I was told they can be arrested for federal offense. I was told they could be arrested for federal offense. Now, with that being said, brothers and sisters, Dr. Umar has access to no money right now because my personal account contains all of my money. I only send it to Apple Pay and PayPal as necessary.
Don't tell me you about to beg for some money right now, Umar. We just we just got the news, man. Hold off on begging right now.
So the Prince of Pan-Africanism, for the first time in my life, is without any digital currency. So for my loyal supporters out there, if you can spare a few dollars so I can take care of Queen Mother Ifa Tunde and myself until my bank account is frozen or canceled so I can get my money back and open up a new account, please hit my Apple Pay or hit my PayPal. My personal PayPal account is Umar the Psychologist at yahoo.com. So that's paypal.me/Umar the Psychologist, paypal.me/Umar the Psychologist, paypal.me/UMARTHEPSYCHOLOGIST.
You know what's funny? I would actually send Umar some money for this to help him out with this, but I ain't send him no money for no fucking school. But I would send him some money to help him out with this. But that's just me.
PayPal.me/Umar the psychologist, or hit my Apple Pay using my cell number 215-989-9858. 215-989-9858. I've never asked the people for $1. I have never asked the people for $1 in my life.
What?
I have never asked the people for $1 in my life. I've
What?
only asked you to donate to the FDMG Academy for Boys. I don't have any sons. I have 2 daughters. So the FDMG campaign is a selfless project, mission, and service to provide our boys with the education that they deserve. But right now, I don't have any money because my account was frozen by my bank because someone has been trying to hack into my account, hack into FDMG Academy account. So the FDMG Academy account is frozen. My personal account is also frozen. That means we're going to lapse on our utility bills. We're going to lapse on our internet bill. We're going to lapse on a lot of our bills at FD.
Probably gonna lose the school. I mean, come on, Umar, man. You said I ain't gonna say you set this up, but you knew that school wasn't gonna open, man. Now this is just your way out. You found a way out. You scammed the people. I believe it's gonna be a trial, man. I believe Umar gonna be on trial. Let me let the rest of this play, but I'm gonna talk about it.
DMG, the bank is not giving me a timeline as to when this situation is going to be resolved. If I don't have Cash App, nor does FDMG have Cash App. I do not have a Cash App. I only have Apple Pay and PayPal. If you can spare a few dollars, send it to my Apple Pay, 215-989-9858, 215-989-9858, or my PayPal, paypal.me/
And Absalom Jones, he follows a big tradition from Philadelphia. Right? You ever notice Umar talks like a pastor? Ain't nobody mess with Umar on the mic. Umar is one of the most entertaining speakers. He might be I'm pretty sure Umar is the top public speaker in the world. Ain't nobody messing with Umar on that mic. I gotta give him credit for that. But he come from a long line of religious people playing with the minds of the indigenous people of this land, right? Because Marcus Garvey started the Pan-Africanism movement. The goal is to move the American Indian, right, which is us, the dark-skinned American Indians, off this land into Africa. And if you know that dude from No Jumper, Poetic Flacco, he'll tell you his family was caught up in that. Marcus Garvey got about 15,000 indigenous people to move to Africa. Didn't know nothing about Africa. And they went over there and found out, oh shit, this is colonized too, Liberia. It's short for liberation. It was a whole movement. And Absalom Jones was behind that. Right. And then Garvey came along after Absalom Jones with the same thing. Now you got Dr. Umar. He's following in that same footsteps, same path. All right. Garvey was a Catholic. Before he passed away, he converted to Catholicism. Right. First, he started off as a Christian, then he became a Catholic. This is what the school is named after Marcus Garvey. Like I said, Marcus Garvey more than likely was a Jesuit, right? That's that cross he got on when he's dressed up in all the garbs, sitting in the car. FDMG, Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey, Pan-Africanism, getting you off this land, bro. Getting you off this land. I got more on Umar, man, because Umar is picking a fight with us. Like I said, I give Umar props, but Umar gonna have to debate. He can't keep on taking shots like this. If everything work out for him, Umar, you gonna have to debate, bro. Debate somebody, because you gotta ask yourself, of all these debates you see on YouTube, where's the Pan-Africanism versus the American Indian, right? The indigenous people of America. About to take 2 shots at me, but here we go.
Text me early today. He said, Dr. Umar, is the earth flat? I said, Ninja.
That is funny. As I say, man, he's charismatic. He's entertaining, man. It's just he keep taking shots, though. It definitely can educate. You just got to go deep. Umar, he's not a deep thinker. He's a surface level thinker. Everything's black and white. Everything's on the surface. Oh, your skin is white. You're white. And I don't work like that at Umar. But, you know, when all your followers are surface level thinkers, you know, that's what happens. I tell that lie, though. All right. Oh, here we go. Here we go, though. The pretendians. He taking shots. That's what I'm saying. But won't debate. Here we go. Umar about to do the same. I don't want to call it experiment, but he's about to do the same thing I do. This is the same thing I do. I ask people, you got 2 parents, right? You got 4 grandparents, right? I mean, you got 8 great grandparents, and they just keep on doubling and doubling and doubling. And so you get to the point where you got like 1 million parents. It took a lot of people to make you, right? That's why you special. But anyway, it takes a lot of people to make you. So at some point, we talk about Eve and Adam and Eve because Umar believes in that too. Well, he believes in the out of Africa theory. He believes everybody came from Africa. Everybody coming from one person. But when you do the math on your family history, you'll see that you got so many greatest grandparents, right? So how does that lead back to one person? But Umar, surface level thinker. Well, let's go.
The problem, Phelps.
We'll see. There's time periods, Umar. All these people can live in the same place because it's different time periods. And plus, the further you go back, the more your DNA is getting spread out. So you're getting like from your greatest grandparent, you probably got 1% of their DNA. So it all trickles down.
The Chickasaw, how the hell you stop being black?
So here, this is the thing about black. Black is a curse word. That's why, Umar. And these people will black you to death, right? They will black. They tearing this word up like it really means something. And it all started with this guy. I ain't gonna say it started with this guy, but it became popular with James Brown. Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Catchy tune. Very catchy tune. Gave a lot of pride, right? The word black went mainstream here. But before this, calling someone black in the 1960s United States and the concept of fighting words in the United States during the 1960s, calling someone black could indeed be considered fighting words. Although the social and legal context and nuance was nuanced and rapidly evolving. See, they was trying to, their social engineering, you using the word black to describe yourself. When black is a magic word, right? Black is a magic word. And shout out to Dane Calloway, because Dane Calloway that came around and started talking about magic a little bit, right? Now, shout out to my brother King Norman. He been talking about magic, right? This is this video 5 years ago, so 6 years ago, 4 years ago. Been talking about magic 6 years ago. I'm just now coming around. This is my video 2 years ago. I called Magic and Slavery, the Holly book, right? From the holly tree. How you make magic wands from a holly tree, right? They call it Hollywood because the magic, right? And that book, that holly book, that holy book, right? Holy magic, books, thought, and mind control, right? They would make the book out of the holly tree too for its magical properties. All right. Now, like I said, Dane Calloway, he done came around to start talking about magic. You gotta shout me out, Dane.
While there should be a sudden rush of patriotism toward the flag, which is the symbol utilized as a sigil for the unsuspecting, carefree, vulnerable children. The word sigil is defined as a sign, word, or device said to have occult power in astrology or magic. An inscribed or painted symbol considered to have magical power. The insertion of the Pledge of Allegiance was disguised as an honor to the 400th anniversary of Christopher Columbus' voyage and will hide the real motives set forth. It was this patriotic teaching that ultimately led to democratic conformity. Because once a fearful event is produced, a child will, in turn, resort to what made them the most comfortable. Once the children have blind reason.
And see, they could get you after generation. 1960, black is considered a fighting word. But after a few generations, you know, it no longer is, right? And that's what I said. People are like, you didn't understand the message. No, I got the message. This is the Super Bowl. I see this brother wrapped up in he's wrapped up in the American flag. But the other brother who got kicked off the stage wearing all black, I don't know. And look at the people. Look at the security. Trying not to pay him no attention. They said this wasn't part of the show. This was part of the show. This was part of the show. It's because we going to war. Right? Because who was the they and they not like us? Who was the us? Remember us? Tethers? That's the us. Kendrick is talking about. Us. Us is short for United States. The United States and America is two different things. The United States is a corporation. America was a country. Right? The Europeans came over here in droves. European immigration to the United States saw a significant surge in the late 1800s. Immigration in the United States, 1851 through 1900s. So many Europeans came over. It wasn't. So look, during the time of slavery, it wasn't even a lot of white people here. The so-called Africans didn't get over here to the mid 1900s. And really, COVID. Look around. Go in your neighborhood. Your whole neighborhood, not just the block you live on. Look around your whole neighborhood. There's a lot of new people here. All right. Now this was our Constitution, the Iroquois Confederacy. Why would they call it a Confederacy? And they got you mad at the Confederate flag. This is a mind game, brothers and sisters. And they'll tell you this, they ain't got nothing to do with each other. Come on, man. We over here studying sacred geometry. This is for the original 5 nations, the Iroquois nation, right? Now, my grandma told us we was Creek Indians, but Creek Indian is just some European coming down and seeing some niggas at a creek and saying, oh, well, them is the Creek Indians. We had way more Aboriginal names, right? But this is the Iroquois Confederacy. We had our own Constitution. Definitely, being whitewashed. Iroquois Confederacy. And then later on, years later, because this is This is like the 1100s. Show y'all right quick. Likely between 1142 and 1660. Well, we know who came around the 1600s, right? And so the whole thing was to get, because we was deep in the South, and they wanted to get some of us off the South. They needed some land, so we helped them out. We gave them some land, them 13 colonies. Like, y'all stay your ass up there. They kept trying to come down here with their little business. Their business was slavery, but they kept trying to bring their business down here with us and make us work for them. And we're like, nah, there's gonna be some shit y'all keep on coming down here, and that's where you get the Civil War, right? But these people came from Iraq, and everybody's trying to figure out this word, right? The N word. Well, this is the only way you can get a definition. The closest way. There's no defined definition of the N word, right? Everything is really guessing. People are guessing. The only way you could get a definition is to put it in a adjective, right? Niggardly, ungenerous, and stingy. Now, if you was a slave, what would you have to be generous with? What would you have to be stingy with? It's your land. They showed you this in the movie Leave the World Behind. When the indigenous couple came back to their house and the Europeans was in there, and they like, oh, well, we need our house back. Well, we kind of already made a deal. Well, I guess we're gonna have to stay here together. Like I said, they'll show it to you in the movies. But if you don't know the whole story, if you just go about what the Europeans said, like I said, European at that moment. Umar, man, you out here picking fights. But I think Umar got compromised a long time ago. I really do. The invention of modern money came out of 1861. Now, 4 years later, they say slavery ended. Well, if I'm making money out of paper, then yeah, this is just a new form of slavery, right? That's why Abraham Lincoln gets put on the bill. That's a high honor, right? Same reason they want to put Harriet Tubman on the bill. If you make this country a lot of money, then you can be put on the legal tender, just like Benjamin Franklin. Benjamin Franklin found out how to harness electricity for America. He gets the highest honor, right? He discovered L. He didn't discover L. He just figured out how to harness. And so he gets the highest honor. He gets put on $100 bill, right? And everybody else, they're ranked, right? They're ranked. You can see what Grant did. You see what Jackson, Hamilton, and then Harriet Tubman. Like I said, it was billions of us living in the South. So the goal was to get us off that fertile land. Because you could grow anything else. But bro, you could grow a t-shirt out in them lands out south. Right? Cotton. Just grow up out the ground. Anything can grow up out. That land is so fertile. Right? That makes it so precious. And you got these billions of people living on that land, all scattered out throughout the woods. Right? And so the goal, that was the main goal. That's why they built the train tracks. Because if you ask your grandma, how did they get, to North America? It probably was the train. A lot of people from Mississippi took the Chicago train up to Chicago, right? Texas, they sent them to California. Florida, they were trying to send them up to New York. Right. And so the invention of the train, and these social engineering racist stories, right? Because you know you got to know the invention of the radio is happening too. So they could come on with any type of story, right, about race. The invention of the radio, Civil War. The invention of the TV, civil rights. All right. With every invention came, you know, something dealing with civil injustice. All right, something dealing with civil injustice. I got this up here for some reason. Let's see what Umar talks.
Enemy, how sick are you? And my pretendians,
Oh shit.
my pretendians, this is all I'm gonna say to my pretendians. If you don't want to be black, just get on back. We ain't got to argue about this. You don't come from Africa, I understand. So why don't you take an ancestry test and prove that you don't come from Africa? Why?
Oh no, he did not. Okay, let's do this. The ancestry test. How much of your DNA are they testing? It's a fraction of a percent. Most of these ancestry test sites are in Africa. So when you do the test, I mean, it's going. That's where most of the samples are coming from. Is from Africa. So, yeah. Another thing, you spitting in a tube, right? For these ancestry tests. They got your DNA. You know, the cops, the FBI, the CIA, they all can use that. Umar, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing? Umar, let me ask you this. It's an ancestry test. Are they digging up dead people and getting them to spit in tubes? No, they're not. So they're matching your DNA markers up with other living people. It's not an ancestry test. You share DNA with lettuce. Of course, you share DNA with other people.
Anybody come up to you talking about they don't come from Africa, their ancestors, tell them to take a DNA test and prove it.
Somebody answer that for me. Are they digging up dead people and testing them? So how's the ancestry? They're comparing you with other living people. There's no ancestry involved at all. The fuck?
We ain't got to do no theory. We don't need no philosophy. We don't need no reasoning. We have science. We don't need no theories. We don't need no philosophy. We don't need any reasoning. We have science. Roll up, nay.
Now look, I wouldn't even say this, bro, but I mean, he's kind of drawn. And I don't like to do what's obvious, but I gotta say it. We don't need. we got science. Umar, you got science? I gotta flip this around on you, bro. It's the white man science. Is that what you're saying? That's just for Umar, man. I don't like to do that, but damn, bro. Let me show you this because it ain't just Umar. There goes Sinetta. Watch how many times they say black.
This.
And the pride in their voice.
What he's throwing out is innuendos that he didn't hear me throw out. Because what I threw out was my experiences. I threw out my experiences with them working in a hospital with high-profile doctors, neuroscience, cardiovascular. I mean, we can go on.
Lady, we don't care. Shit. Trying to get past your head. But it's crazy. I can't go too far past her.
Land. But I'm saying to you, if some of motherland people came over here to me and they showed me the way they are, what are you expecting me to do over there? I'm not saying I would never go over there. I was giving you my experience, and I never told anyone not to go. But if they act like that with me over here in my country, what am I going to get over there in theirs? I got to pave my footprints down there in order to what? Get that type of respect.
Right.
You shouldn't have to go to other countries and be comfortable. They come to our country and live.
And I
like to respond as well when I get a chance.
Hold up.
Yeah,
I would add
behind me, wasn't he?
I would add this, right? And this is why it's important.
As you can see, this is the holy FBA, right? Foundational Black America. I wouldn't have, if that black was in there, I wouldn't have no problem with it, bro. I promise you I would. But That black, I can't do nothing with that, man. I know it's cursed. Hold on, wait a minute. I keep saying this, so I gotta. Well, let him say it. Hold on.
And that y'all don't make everybody black. There's only one group of black people here. Now,
Bro, anybody could be black. White people could be black. My skin tone is brown. They ain't talk about skin tone. They talk about a culture. You're cursing yourself, is what I'm trying to say with that black word. They have driven this home. They have made us, they gave us that name. Black. I just showed you. Black was fighting. We gonna get down in the 1960s, 1950s. We fighting. Because it always had a negative connotation.
now here, this is
So this brother up here trying to safeguard the word black. Brother, give it up. Please.
what I'm saying, like about the emotions and the political reality. If Nigerians are black, why, when it comes to statistics, they're labeled as Nigerians? Like it'll be Nigerians have the most education, and why doesn't that fall under us in terms of black? Because they're not black, and throughout the years they told us we wasn't black.
Yeah, and they're not cursed. You sounding crazy, bro. There's no land called black. There's a land called Nigeria. But they'll come over here and play the black game with you. They'll play the black and white game with you to keep your ass dumbed down. They have no problem with that. And the so-called, which they ain't white or European, white people will play that game with you too. Because you're the minor, you're the minority. So just playing a game with you. You up here safeguarding the word with all your might. If them people want to be black, let them be black. You ain't black. Shit.
Like all foreigners, we were the only ones. See, this is what I mean by the gaslighting. We were the ones that started Pan-Africanism and made everybody black because we had a view that these people would come here and they would side with us against white supremacy. But it didn't work out like that, and it still doesn't. They came here and actually worked with white supremacy.
Well, they came here and they seen that you wasn't civilized enough to not call yourself black. It leads to nowhere. These are the black people. Come on, somebody else, please hear how crazy that. These are the black people. Oh no, these are the Jewish people. Oh no, here are the Guyanan people. Like here are the Chinese people. Oh, but here are the black people. A crayon color. And you will willingly, proudly. Hold on. I'm gonna make this point. Hit the like button. Hit the like button.
As from soot, evil, sinister, black deeds, cheerless and depressing, gloomy, angered, sullen, sometimes capital, attended with disaster, calamitous, the stock market, crash on black.
All right, you don't need to go any further. When you accepted the spell of the dark priesthood who created connotative linguistics.
Connotative linguistics. You got denotative linguistics. These words, you think it mean one thing, but the etymology says it means something else. And it's crazy. Because nobody's thinking deeper than black and white. You gotta stop, y'all. You gotta stop. Because they know who you are. Hit the like button. Oh shit. Pretendians. Where is from? The county chemical company, Chemical Works, Birmingham, England. You think they made a lot of money with this logo? Yeah, because like I said, that land is super fertile. We got cash crops. Cash crops. Tobacco, marijuana, hemp, tomatoes, food. The Pretendian. Birmingham, England said, nah, the indigenous people of America, yeah, that's where you got the name from. I'd rather you call yourself that than motherfucking black. Now, am I joking? Kinda. But at the same time, y'all done wore that black word out, bro. And it don't lead to nothing but occultism. You have accepted what the dark priesthood had laid down for you. You accept it. Because you refuse to do any research. You refuse to do any etymology. You just think these words are just words. You just out here using slang and shit, you know. Oh, they over there salty. Oh, yeah, they are salty because when you get angry, blood pressure rises. So that means elevated levels of salt. You ain't just, bruh. This social programming. They don't got you using these words for nothing. It's the English language. This shit came from overseas. They're the foreigners. Bruh. Where that? Where that? Yeah, pissed me up. That pissed me off. Oh my! Did the Europeans come in droves? I mean, they came in droves. Look at that slave ship. Look at it, not a black face on it. Now that's a slave ship. Look at him. Look at him. Immigrants from Europe, late 1800s, came over by the boatful. That's a slave ship. Would you think they came over? It didn't work? Somebody tell me that. Somebody say that. Please, somebody say that. Oh yeah, they came over here. They didn't have to work. They just automatically got slave. Motherfucker, please. This is crazy. For calling yourself a Creon color and proud of it. Did you stop? No other civilized group of people would do that shit. One more time. We didn't get to finish.
Disaster, calamitous, the stock market, crash on black.
All right, you don't need to go any further. When you accepted the spell of the dark priesthood who created connotative linguistics. But they needed you to believe. So they bought off what you call Pharisees and Sadducees, lawyers and priests, for a few people.
Lawyers and priests. Did I not show you Absalom Jones? Did I not show you Marcus Garvey? Yeah, he was beefing with the Catholic Church because they wouldn't want to, they don't want to help him out. And he Catholic. That's where the beef came in at. Absalom Jones started the African Church. This is back in the late 1700s, early 1800s. And that African Church was trying to get Indians over here to move to Africa. And most people, this is why I'm so pissed off, because most people told Absalom Jones to kick rocks. And most people, our people, told motherfucking Marcus Garvey to kick rocks. This is our land. Nah, you ain't about to trick us out our spot, even though you did. But still, it's still a millions and millions, tens of millions of indigenous people in the South. You could still go to a rural town in the South and find an all-black rural town. And that lets you know right there how deep we was in the South. Because I could travel around rural Indiana, I might see one or two brothers, but it ain't a lot. But you travel down south and go to the rural towns, you'll see an all-black rural town. You'll see black farmers still. This was us. That's our treaty. That's our constitution. And if you ain't dealing with the magic, just leave it alone. You don't know what world you in. You don't know what realm you in. It's deeper than black and white. All right. I knew when in the NBA, because y'all know I used to study that. You got Magic Johnson. That's the black Magic Johnson. And then you got the white Larry Bird who played for the Celtics. The Celtics is the Druids. Them was the mystics of the time. Then was the people dealing with magic over there. It was the Celtics. And then on the West Coast, right? Western, going west, like Columbus wanted to sail west. All right, the Western Conference where Magic Johnson ruled. Yeah, that's us. We do magic too. They did magic too. And the top hierarchy of these magicians, they came together. But yeah, calling someone black in the 1960s could get your ass kicked.
Piece of coins called 501c3, and their job is to keep that black thing going, making you think it means Afrocentricity.
Afrocentric. Come on, is that not Umar? Their program, but their grandma was like sitting there telling them, "What else you want her to say?" You came from her, so what you think you are? But you went to school, and school taught you don't listen to your grandma. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You ought to be ashamed. You rather listen to the school. That's cool. At least you got an A, motherfucker. At least you passed the class, motherfucker. Okay, jerks. Umar's a jerk, bro. I'm sorry, man. Let me play this.
That comes political judgment.